1. The youngest player in cricket history to captain his country. 2. The youngest ever #1 one-day international bowler in the world. 3. The youngest and fastest bowler to take 100 T20 international wickets. And 4. The ICC Men's T20 Player of the Decade for the 2010s. In only his mid-20s, Rashid Khan has risen to become one of the biggest stars in the T20 cricket world today, and arguably its best bowler to date. In this video, we go on a journey from where it all started to his current position as one of the most loved cricketers in T20 cricket. This is the story of Rashid Khan. Rashid Khan was born in 1998 in Afghanistan's Nangarhar province, and his early childhood occurred during the first few years of the conflict in Afghanistan. Nangarhar province was a specific hotspot for this conflict, and Khan's family fled the violence into Pakistan for a period of time before moving back to Afghanistan later in life. Rashid and his brothers grew up playing cricket, and Rashid idolised Shahid Boom Boom Afridi. Rashid said in a 2016 interview, "I just saw Shahid Afridi on TV and learned from there, as I like the way he bowls." It's no wonder then that Rashid's bowling style is pretty similar in ways to Afridi. One of the most notable similarities is his pace. Rashid Khan bowls faster than a typical spin bowler. Instead of primarily relying on spin and guile to get his wickets, he often bowls with a flatter trajectory, and that quickly gets up onto the batter. He builds pressure through accuracy, accumulating dot balls and quickly bowling through his over. This pressure then forces batters to try and score runs, where Rashid is able to use his arsenal of deliveries, including a well-disguised googly, to get batters out. Rashid quickly came into the consciousness of the cricketing world on the 18th of October 2015, when he was picked to represent Afghanistan in a one-day international versus Zimbabwe. A few days later, he played his first T20 international against the same team. While his figures of 1 for 20 were not groundbreaking, his economy rate, the best amongst the team, would be an indicator of things to come in Rashid's future, and the first franchise team to give him a contract for the Camilla Victorians, playing in the 2016 edition of the Bangladesh Premier League. Rashid ended that season with the best overall figures for the team, even though he did not play every game. 13 total wickets with an economy rate of 6.06, or just over a run a ball. For me though, the most memorable part of that season was on the 4th of December, when Camilla played Rangpur and won by 8 runs. In that game, by some twist of fate, Rashid Khan got to play against his idol, Shahid Afridi, who was at the crease and watched Khan bowl Naeem Islam from the other end. Finally, in a situation that many cricketers can only dream of, Rashid Khan got Shahid Afridi out stumped with his trademark googly. Rashid's brand of fast and accurate spin bowling would help them win the game, and it was his best performance of the season, ending with 3 for 13. 2017 would be the year where his T20 career would really start to take off. In that year, Khan was picked up by the Bandamere Dragons in his native Afghanistan, the Guyana Amazon Warriors in the Caribbean Premier League, and the Adelaide Strikers in the Australian Big Bash League. However, perhaps the most important and financially lucrative of all was his contract in the Indian Premier League, where he was picked up by the Sunrisers Hyderabad for 4 crore. Not only would Rashid become a very busy man travelling around the globe, but these trips would begin to endear Rashid to a wider global audience and show the beginning of a path that cricketers around the world would begin to walk, where they could make a living playing in different leagues around the world and experience the economic freedom that came with that. Rashid came into that Sunrisers Hyderabad side that were the defending champions from the previous 2016 season. You wouldn't think that many changes were needed for such a side, but Khan added an extra dimension that was missing to their successful, albeit pace-heavy, bowling attack. It gave captain David Warner the ability to call in a frontline spinner after previously relying mainly on all-rounders for spin options. He played in every game that season, ending with the second highest amount of dismissals for the team, behind Purple Cap winner Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and 6th highest in the entire tournament. The IPL is by far the best T20 tournament in the world, and this showed that Rashid's abilities were on par with the best in the world, even at the early age of just 19. During the other leagues that he played around the world, Rashid continued these strong performances. For instance, in the CPL, he was the 4th highest wicket taker in the tournament, including a hat-trick against the Jamaica Talawars. Khan's Adelaide Strikers won the 2017-2018 Big Bash League, and Khan was the equal highest wicket taker for the tournament. From 2018 and leading up to the 2019 ODI World Cup played in England, Rashid would represent his country in all 3 formats, including Afghanistan's first ever test match against India. It is here where he would pick up the rather unwanted record of conceding the most runs ever in a country's inaugural test match, ending with figures of 2 for 154 in the first innings of 34.5 overs. Despite the losing result, the amount of overs he bowled shows that the national team had already begun to rely on Rashid's abilities with the ball, even if he was outside the T20 format. Following an unsuccessful one-day international World Cup campaign, Rashid Khan would be chosen as the new Afghanistan captain in all three formats of the game. While his tenure did not last long, as the Afghan Cricket Board experimented with different captaincy systems across the three formats, on his debut as Test captain, he managed to take 10 wickets and score a half-century in a memorable victory away from home in Bangladesh. The only player I could find who gave a similar performance in history was Imran Khan from Pakistan, who scored 117 runs and took 11 wickets in his first match as captain. This was against India in Faisalabad in 1983. That's esteemed company indeed. His leadership skills would be later recognised when he was picked up for the 2022 IPL season by the newly formed Gujarat Titans. In his new role as vice-captain supporting Hardik Pandya, the Titans would win 12 games on their way to claim their inaugural IPL title, breaking the 5-year stranglehold that the Chennai Super Kings and Mumbai Indians had on that trophy. Now, Rashid has only had a relatively short career so far. I mean, it's less than a decade at the time of writing, but it has been filled with more experiences and achievements than most cricketers would have in their lifetime. In my opinion, right now at the young age of 24, Rashid Khan has proven that he is currently the best T20 spin bowler in the world, and he is one of the most in-demand players for T20 franchises around the world. This isn't only for his on-field abilities, but his commercial marketability as a player. The man's origin story, a welcoming demeanour, coupled with his competitiveness, makes him a player that sells tickets anywhere in the world and opens new doors for cricket into new markets. He currently sits at 486 T20 wickets at an average of 17.65. With the simple bowling action and hopefully a little luck avoiding injury, it's not impossible for him to triple that number, given the amount of franchise cricket he plays. Comparing past players to modern players is tough, and even more so nowadays given that franchise cricket is taking more and more focus away from international cricket. Modern players are playing more games and thus have more opportunity to increase their stats over past cricketers. But in my opinion, at the end of his career, Rashid Khan is on course to be amongst the best spin bowlers in history. I'm talking about the greatest of all time, Mutai Muralitharan, Shane Warne, and Anil Kumble. While it's true that Rashid Khan will likely never play the amount of international games as those greats, test matches or otherwise, largely because of issues that are outside of his control, we've seen through this video not only what makes him such a great player, but also how he has seemingly made a career for himself as a franchise T20 player. Rashid has shown cricketers from traditional cricketing countries, but more importantly associate nations, that just because you don't come from an India or an Australia doesn't mean that you can't become a superstar. For me, this trailblazing approach to his cricketing career is what will become Rashid's true legacy. But until the sun sets on Rashid Khan's career, fasten your seatbelts, because in the future, you may be able to tell people that you watched one of the all-time greats. Thanks for checking out my video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below and consider subscribing. More content like this will be on the way. If you have any favourite moments in Rashid's career so far, or you would like to see another player featured here, be sure to leave it in the comment section below. All of your support is greatly appreciated and helps build the channel. I've got plenty more content on the way, but until then, take care and I'll see you soon.